Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real with America's Supermom. I am excited to have Evelyn here. She and I both are in Georgia, so we got a chance to chat before the interview. And life happens. We've had to schedule some stuff, but I feel like she's just somebody I've known for years. Really, it's so crazy. But I'm excited to have her here today because I love what she is doing, her platform, when it's talking about the children, educating them, and all these different things that she is doing, which we'll get into with the interview. But before we get started, I want to give her the floor to introduce herself.
Thank you so much, Lachelle. So I am Mrs. Evelyn. I go by Mrs. Evelyn Educates. I am Evelyn Shaw Corley, and I have been in education since 2005. I am a graduate of the University of Georgia, and I served in public schools for over a decade, teaching all grade levels, almost every subject. I was a special education teacher, a gifted teacher, a general education teacher, and I taught in both low income schools and also wealthy schools, and have seen a lot and learned a lot, and don't take those years for granted. They made me so much of who I am. But after all of that time and just really hitting a point of stress overload, I started thinking about education differently and have moved in a completely different.
Okay, a little technical difficulty. You froze up for a minute.
I was saying that after all of my years in public schools, I have now fallen in love with something that is completely untraditional. I did not see it coming. It has been such a God thing. I reached a point of so much stress in public schools that I had to leave. I had to leave. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't functioning well. It was overwhelming. And my husband and I had this conversation about, you know what? We need to do something different.
I
So
love
I
that.
looked, yes. So I looked within myself and looked at my gifts and looked at my talents and decided, let me just start tutoring my friends' kids. Let me just start homeschooling my friends' kids. And it was like magic took place because I felt this freedom, this happiness, and this creativity come back to me and come to me in ways that I had never experienced before.
I love that. And so many people are in this space now with this pandemic of feeling like something's a little off when it comes to being an educator. So can you talk to them about what some of the signs were? I mean, a lot of times we can just say, oh, you know what, I'm just having a bad day. Or, it's a bad section in time with your teaching curriculum. So, we kind of think, oh, well, this session that we're doing, whatever topic, it's a little off, but I'm going to refuel on the next thing that I start. So, talk to us about how you knew something was a little different.
It's so much bigger than that. And it's so funny the way that God teaches us. If we don't catch that message the first time, it's going to keep coming back up over and over and over. And I didn't think I'd ever leave public schools. I thought I was going to be a 30-year teacher. And over and over again, no matter where I was, I became super overwhelmed. And that pattern just kept continuing. It wasn't a bad day. And it wasn't me who was broken. And I felt so beaten down in the system. I felt like something was wrong with me. But time and time again, I had to just reach within and say, you know what? This is bigger than me. This is not my fault. It's not my anxiety. It's not me not being able to be what the expectation is of me. It was a continued pattern. And I would run to another school and run to another place and say, it's going to be better this time. It's going to be better this time. But the problems and the stress and the anxiety and the just not feeling healthy and well continued. And I said, okay, Lord, I don't know what's next, but I know that I need to get out and I need to do something different.
Love that. And I like the way you were able to transition to helping kids in using your same skills. Because I think a lot of people, they kind of forget that it's like, oh, you know what, I've dedicated this time to teaching. I got my degree, but I'm not in the classroom. So let me go try to do some other vocation or, you know, some other industry. So talk to us about how you were able to make that transition. You know, what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. So I started small. I started super small. I put it out into the universe through Facebook. I would make funny little videos and I just let people know that I was out there and I was ready to tutor and I was ready to homeschool and I was ready to help out families. And little did I know, people wanted that magic. People wanted that love poured into their kids. And something cool happened. My schedule filled up and I was so just filled with gratitude. And that's the key. Gratitude is the key. And flash forward to 3 years later, I lead a huge team. We have a tutoring company. We have a homeschooling company. We have a private academy. And it is through God's grace of doing things differently and following my heart that I have been able to serve hundreds of families.
Love that. That's amazing. And so I think, you know, just the power of knowing what you're gifted in. You know,
I
because
agree.
so many people just, you know, they begin to beat themselves up if that career choice didn't work, but then they kind of just say, what's wrong with me? And then they don't recognize the gifts and skills that they have. So now that you are in this new space, what were some of the things that you did during that journey to kind of help you stay grounded and not be in this, woe is me, it didn't work the way I planned, and still keep moving? Because I think that is something to be taken note of as well.
Absolutely. So I am a believer that if you need that time to grieve, it's okay. That first year that we went, that not we, but that first year that students went back at the beginning of public school, I cried because I wasn't there, because that was everything that I had known. I blogged about it. I journaled about it. I made a video about it, you know, of just how I was feeling and what I was feeling. And it was through the connection with my friends, my family, my husband. I had that time period of grieving. But then, you know, you allow yourself, I always allow myself to feel, but then you rise up. You rise up from the ashes and you get into this mode where it's creativity mode. And how do you get there? You read the books, you listen to the podcast, you surround yourself with high vibe, positive people. We are, you know, those that we spend time with, we act like them. And it's easy to fall into the abyss of Debbie Downers and those who, you know, just want to complain all of the time. But I started networking with women who lifted me up and thought like entrepreneurs. I never saw myself as an entrepreneur. And now that I have risen up, I feel like I am a queen. It's that empowering nature. And I just want to show teachers that you can build your own empire and you can do it with your gifts, your talents, and your style.
I love that. Now, so do you serve as like a resource now also for teachers as well?
I do. And I have been a mentor and a coach to teachers who want to focus on gratitude. That's so much of who I am and what I'm about. And I have helped several women start their own businesses because it's huge to do something in your way, your style that has your touch. And in all things Evelyn educates, it's so important to me that every child, every tween, every teen, every adult knows that you're perfectly made. There is nothing wrong with you. You are divinely made with gifts and talents to share with the world. And that is my mission. That is how we serve. Everybody on my team is spiritual. They're religious. They believe in something bigger than themselves, and they serve through contagious energy and love and grace. And I am so proud of what I've built and who we are as two companies.
I love that. That is awesome. Now, so for me, how do you instill the trust, in the kids? Because, your approach definitely is not the norm, the process that you're doing. So how do you get them to kind of trust that, okay, this is really real and, she really means what she says? Because I think we go through a lot of that. It sounds good, but I don't know, and it's hard for them to trust. So how do you get them to trust you?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about a kiddo who would not mind me saying his name. We're going to talk about Justin. Justin has been in 4 schools in the past 4 years. And I was mentoring him yesterday. And I said, Justin, what makes everything Evelyn educates different for you? What, the academy, the tutoring, and we were just talking. And he talked to me about how in other environments, he said, my teacher was getting a paycheck. In your school, Miss Evelyn, the adults are not only caring about me and getting to know me because it's one-on-one, it's small group. You really get to know each other in my school. And he said, you guys teach stuff that matters. And he said, I don't want to go to college and we can prepare for that if you do. And he said, I want to learn about real estate. I want to learn about business. And I said, that is what you will learn. You will learn the math that you need. You will learn the English reading, writing, grammar that you need. We're going to teach you how to be intelligent, but we're going to take your interest. We're going to take your passions. And that is our focus. And he was like, yes. And that's what we do with all of them. I am accessible. I am accessible. We have a learning concierge over every 20 families so that I am there for everybody, but so they have their go-to. We've got Miss Natavia, Miss Jasmine, Miss Sabrina, Mr. Creston, Mr. Chris. We've got such a great team. And that's something I want to add in that's super important to me. Hey, Lennon, my dog. I'm an advocate for diversity. I am an advocate for kids seeing themselves and knowing, yes, queen, and knowing I can do this. I can do this. We are advocates for the LGBTQ plus community. We are advocates in all things diversity. We love all humans, and I'm going to hit it home again. We are all beautifully designed. We are all perfectly made in the image of God.
You know what? I love that you said that, because that is one of the key components, that it's not that people may not trust you, but
Mhm.
your story may not resonate with them because you don't look like them. So I
Mhm.
love that you brought that up. You could tell a kid something and they may hear you because of your skin tone. I can tell them the same thing and they're like, I don't know,
Mhm.
or vice versa. So I think that is so important to bring that up, because, we don't talk about these realities,
And
we might
it's
have
so
an
true.
issue of, is she telling me the right thing, or it's going to work for her because she doesn't look like me. So her
That's
story
right.
may not be my story. You know what I'm saying? So I love that you mentioned that.
And it's with the parents too. It's with
Mm-hmm.
the parents too. There are parents that are going to love and believe Miss Natavia when she says, "Hey, Miss Evelyn is great. And let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you why." Because they're going to have that trust. They're going to connect with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that not everybody is going to see me and see my skin tone and say, like, yes, I want to work with her. But they're going to connect with somebody on my team and
Amen.
learn that, wow, what they're doing is divine. What they're doing is meaningful for all learners, for special needs learners, diverse learners, learners who are smarter than what's going on in their fourth grade classroom and are ready for ninth grade math. We find a fit for everyone, and we do that through grace and empathy.
I love that. Now, that definitely is the skill, because a lot of people don't have the compassion or the humility to notice that. That's not something you get every day. So talk to someone who's watching about how you got to that understanding, and what do you do to kind of keep that fresh in your school?
That is always fresh, and we're going to be real on the real show. We're going to be real. Okay, so I am an imperfect human.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own personal struggles. I have a mental health story and journey of my own. And
Mm-hmm.
I am constantly reminded, take care of yourself, be healthy, surround yourself with people who believe in you and love you. Stay humble. No matter how big this business grows, remain in a state of gratitude. Know that um, even though we're big, keep it small. I talked to my team. They said, you know what, Evelyn, we are not automated. Nobody wants that. That's not how we were built. We
Mm-hmm.
were built through trust and relationships and matchmaking of which kiddo needs to work with which adult. And so I am a believer in lifting people up, lifting myself up, but holy moly, I am imperfect and I'm reminded of that each and every day. And I will always be filled with grace and humble.
I love that. And that's a good point to bring up, because, it's a daily evolution. I think people
Mhm.
see, oh my goodness, she's got two businesses, and, her skin is flawless. She's looking good on camera. She doesn't have any problems. You know what I mean? It's easy for her. So I love that you mentioned the struggle behind the highlight reel, right? But
Oh
behind
my
this
gosh.
interview for like 20 minutes. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, the struggle is real. It is real. And we all have a story. I
Mm-hmm.
am, and I have to give so much credit to my husband. If you met me 10 years ago, I was an abused woman. I didn't believe in myself. I
Mhm,
was very, you know, cheerful but not real. It was kind of that, just survival mode. And
mhm.
I have been through the darkness and know what it is to rise from those depths. And so definitely, it's not the lipstick, it's not the skin tone, it's not any of those things. It's me, it's my heart. I'm super real and want to be there for you.
Love that. And definitely resonate with that story, okay?
Oh
Sometimes
yeah.
you were down so low, it's like, look, I am not going back there. Okay.
That's right. And I'm going to live out the rest of my days living my best life.
Amen. Love
Hmm.
that. Now, so talk to us about a book or podcast that really kind of resonated with you, to kind of helped you with, this change of mindset.
Absolutely. So I got this party started with Kathy Heller's Don't Keep Your Day Job.
Oh.
And yes, she is incredible. And it was such an easy listen. And it was my husband who first connected me to that podcast. And he was like, hey, she kind of sounds like you. And she's got your vibe and says things that you say. But then she also taught me so many things about being an entrepreneur and knowing your worth and know to just do it messy. You don't have,
Mhm.
to know everything about everything. So I would definitely say Kathy Heller's Don't Keep Your Day Job. I'm a huge fan of Sahara Rose.
Mhm.
She keeps me in all things spiritual and really, really uplifting. I love her. I love Gina DeVee's podcast, Divine Living, because she helps me learn my worth and learn that I'm a queen and learn what I deserve. And she's super connected to God. And I love that. And then as far as books go, my spiritual evolution got started with Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. Rhonda
Okay.
Byrne's The Secret, the law of attraction, like attracts like. When you look for the good and the beauty and the wonderful, the good, the beautiful, the wonderful finds you. But when you live in a state of negativity, that's all you see and that's all that you attract. And from there, it just kept going. Gabby Bernstein, um, over there's Tony Robbins, love Tony Robbins, and I'm really, really, it's just all of this introspection and reading and listening has completely changed my life and transformed me. And I am a forever student myself.
I love that. I feel the same way. Now, so for many of the parents that are watching, what advice would you give them about, I believe that our kids are definitely going into the school year in a deficit when it comes to academics. So what
Mhm.
advice would you give them, one, about how to locate a tutor, what should they be looking for, and maybe some things that they could be working on during the summer with their kids to kind of give them that good foundation for the new school year?
Absolutely. So, first, let me show grace and that we have all been through so much. And the decision that you make, public, private, charter, online, whatever you do, yes, you are right. You are right. So, love yourself, give yourself a huge hug because you are doing it. You are the mama and you are rocking it in the way that works for you and your family. So I am not here to say homeschooling is for everyone. It changed my life, but that might not be the right fit for you.
Mhm.
There are tutors that I partner with that are not a part of my company that are in person. There's one tutor, I live in Athens, Georgia, who is amazing, Sandy Raffel, Rafal, and she's an Orton Gillingham specialist who has an office. And I will send families to her who need the manipulatives, who need that. My encouragement is to not do it alone, to not do it alone. We've got families that travel all of the time. We've got families that are trying to get to band practice, to soccer practice, all of the things. And then I would say, hey, Evelyn Educates is the perfect fit for you, so that you can just, because we're online, just log on from your room and have that tutor right there. And we're not so big that we've lost the touch of human connection. And we truly, I was talking to a mom yesterday. Her daughter was in junior ROTC. She plays the trombone. She has a stepfather. She has, all of these things. And that is what is so important, is to not do it alone, moms, to get a support system and to find the best fit for you and to find something quality. Honestly, that's another bit of advice, is to find something quality. And I would be honored to work with you. And if I'm not the right fit, I will personally help you find the right fit.
Love that. Now, so what is the best way for the audience to get a hold of you?
Lots of ways. The easiest way I would say is evelyneducates.org. There's a chat box there, and I will respond to that. I'm on Facebook as Evelyn Shaw Corley and would love to be friends. On Instagram, I am at Evelyn Educates. So if you just look up Evelyn Educates online, you'll find my phone number. You'll find my email. We'll connect. Just look up all things Evelyn Educates and we will make the magic happen. And I will definitely be a loving support system for you.
Love that. So what final words would you like to give to the audience, the teachers, mothers, or whoever you feel led to kind of share a message with before we end the interview?
You are right. You are right. You are beautiful. You are perfectly made. Everything that you are doing is the work of a champion. You are the powerhouse. I am so amazed and so impressed with the mothers in 2020, 2021. You are resilient. You are staying the course, and your personal best is exactly what it needs to be. Give yourself grace and know that you are a warrior. And to the kids, you guys have been through so much too. And I love you. And I am here for you.
Love that. That was a great message. And, I'm taking that in myself. Hey, I did make it through 7 kids being homeschooled. Okay.
America SuperMom.
So this has been so much fun, Evelyn. I'm so glad that we got connected and looking forward to more collaborations. I definitely will keep you in mind as a resource because I am active with my kids' school councils and things of that nature. And I think it's so important to have resources because not everybody learns the same. Not everybody's story's the same. So many people have been dealt so many different unfortunate circumstances during this pandemic. And we're all going to try to be able to maneuver past that. So I think there's definitely going to be room for everything that you're offering. So I'm so glad that you were here today to share your insight and thoughts.
Thank you. It's an absolute honor. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. We'll be sure that Evelyn gets them and pass this on to other parents, other teachers that may be able to benefit from the information that Evelyn has shared with us today. And reach out to her, okay? Everything Evelyn Educates, you can look her up, get her number, and get some insight. Have that conversation. So many things can improve just from a conversation. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all on the next episode. Bye for now, everybody.